welcome to Sphere. I am Price Time, and you're watching Sphere TV. There are many parts of the Sphere ecosystem, and those elements continue to expand, so it can be challenging to keep up with all of the individual parts and how they play a role in Sphere. One of Sphere's goals is to build out an ecosystem of DeFi projects that bring value and capital efficiency to DeFi, while also simplifying all of the yield opportunities of DeFi down to one token, the Sphere token. By having an umbrella of projects working to provide yield for Sphere, Sphere becomes akin to the S&P 500 but for crypto, because through Sphere, users gain access to all of Sphere's underlying DeFi protocols and the yield that they generate. So let's walk through all of the current and upcoming sources of yield for the Sphere token. Currently, users can single-sided yield lock their Sphere tokens for a period of 4 months to earn blue chip tokens at a variable APR. The majority of that yield comes from the yield farming of Treasury assets, but Sphere has much more up its sleeve. Once a few more ecosystem projects have been launched, Sphere can transition to its V3 tokenomics, whereby users can vote lock Sphere as an 80-20 LP with WMatic to receive ecosystem yield and governance. For the purposes of this video, let's focus on a glimpse of what that will look like. First, as I mentioned, the Treasury will always be yield farming its assets, and the majority of that yield is and will continue to be funneled to Spherians. This alone can provide a very attractive variable APR, as we can currently see with yield-locked Sphere. In many ways, Treasury yield is like the lifeblood of the Sphere ecosystem, but we have only just begun. Thanks to an early investment by the Sphere Treasury in VE Tetu, Sphere now holds significant governance by proxy over VE BAL of Balancer. This is how Sphere's liquidity is now highly incentivized on Balancer. Those incentives are in swap fees and BAL token emissions. However, as can be seen on the Treasury dashboard, Sphere yield farms that liquidity through Tetu for boosted yield that is in the form of Tetu tokens and stables. This continues to help Sphere grow its governance over Tetu and therefore over Balancer. With VE Sphere, the liquidity locked into the protocol will be yield farmed in this way and possibly in similar ways on other dexes, and that yield will be funneled to Sphere lockers. Dyson is the next core protocol within the Sphere ecosystem with massive potential for bringing revenue to Sphere lockers. Dyson does not have any deposit or withdrawal fees, but it does take a performance fee on each harvest. This means that as the deposited assets are yield farmed and those yields are harvested, Dyson will take a small percentage of those yield harvests. That yield then goes to the Sphere Treasury, where it can continue to build governance, for example with the VE DEX vaults, and or funnel yield to Sphere lockers. Dyson already operates on multiple chains and already has vaults for Uniswap v3, with more v3 protocol vaults on the way, for example QuickSwap v3. Dyson also has multiple VE DEX vaults with Dyson's liquid wrapper solutions that bring more governance to Dyson and therefore Sphere, as well as other vaults such as the GNS vault. There are certainly many more vaults and collaborations planned, for example the upcoming Chronos DEX partnership. In fact, there is currently a VECHR airdrop available for the top 200 users who vote lock new Sphere tokens between March 30th and April 16th at 0000 UTC, so be sure to participate if you are interested. Additionally, our very own liquid farmed solutions for blue chip tokens, including Matic and BNB, will be coming to Dyson as well. The goal of these liquid farmed solutions is to have better yields than current liquid staking derivatives. Once again, all of these different vaults come with performance fees, and those fees will be able to funnel yield to Sphere lockers. A perhaps underappreciated aspect of Dyson's VE DEX vaults is that because a portion of the performance fees are used to continue to build governance, Dyson will continue to be able to provide amplified yields for its VE-DEX vaults. The Sphere Treasury is not excluded from being able to use Dyson's vaults. In fact, it was part of the plan all along. By using Dyson's VE-DEX holdings to vote on Dyson's vaults, Sphere can increase the yield of its protocol-owned liquidity through Dyson, yield which is of course funneled to Sphere lockers. Now, as Sphere continues within this development phase, two upcoming protocols will further provide yield for the ecosystem. One is Sphere Lend, and the other is Prion. Sphere Lend is a money market for lending and borrowing, and Prion is a CDP with its own stablecoin. Both provide unique tokenomics and capital efficiency within the DeFi space, and of course, yield from both will be funneled to Sphere lockers. We also cannot forget Dystopia with Penrose and Cone with Unknown. As it stands, the Dystopia and Cone team is working on their V2 of these protocols, and once these are live, then Sphere can improve Penrose and Unknown since they are built on top of Dystopia and Cone, respectively. These also play a role in the Sphere ecosystem. For example, similar to the VE-DEX vaults on Dyson, Sphere can gain increasing governance over Dystopia and Cone through Penrose and Unknown to increase the yield of protocol-owned liquidity. Now, further down the road, with the governance that Sphere will accumulate through Dyson and its other protocols, VE Spherians will be able to mobilize that governance power. In DeFi, wherever there is governance, there is likely to be bribe revenue. This opens up yet another possible source of yield for Sphere lockers. Not to mention that with SP Sphere, the voting power of VE Sphere will be increasingly concentrated to bring further value to VE Sphere. Hand in hand with VE Sphere voting is Covenant. Covenant will be another protocol built within the ecosystem that will operate as a Craigslist of sorts for bribes. In other words, Covenant will make it easy and efficient for users and protocols to securely offer bribes, and for voters to vote to earn those bribes. Naturally, as is the way, yield from Covenant will also be funneled to Sphere lockers. With all of these different components being built, it is no wonder why we at Sphere are so excited. The best part is that there is still more to come beyond all of this. So long as the markets are active and are in need of capital-efficient solutions, Sphere will be here to build those solutions and funnel yield to Sphere lockers. As more and more yield is given to Sphere lockers, locking Sphere becomes more and more attractive. With more incentives to buy and lock Sphere, less will be available on the open market as users do just that, resulting in price appreciation of the Sphere token. Now, just a quick note on token burns. Our focus with the Sphere ecosystem is to engage users with our protocol and reward those who are the most committed to the protocol. Burns are a sensitive subject because burning may be providing exit liquidity to those who want to exit the protocol versus using that revenue to provide yield to dedicated token lockers. That is why our current focus with ecosystem yield is on Sphere lockers. If in the future the community wants to reinstate burns in some manner, then we can approach the topic. But in the meantime, we have to set the foundation of yield generation, which includes all of the different ecosystem components. And as that is happening, the majority of yield available will go to token lockers, because ultimately, the appreciation of the token should stem from its value. I hope this gives you a better understanding of all of the current ecosystem elements of Sphere and how they play a role in building yield and value for the Sphere token. Remember, if this all seems too complicated, one of the goals of Sphere is to simplify DeFi into just one token, the Sphere token, by having all of these ecosystem components funnel yield to Sphere lockers. Visit us on Discord to stay up to date on announcements and join our community. This video and channel is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Thanks for watching, and always remember that you matter for who you are. Naturally, as is the way, yield from Covenant will also be funneled to Sphere lockers.